Morning, my name is Kirsty Dignam. I felt really forceful then. Really, this is me. And I'm here to look at the weekly energies with today's Monday's musings. If we can just take some time, just sit back, just really embrace the energy that's trying to come through rather than react from more familiar vibrations or not. Now this is where this week I feel a genuine, not separation, but a genuine, almost bilateral path forming, depending on what steps we take. Recognizing obviously all roads lead us home. You know, there's no right or wrong way or hierarchy or anything like that, but really feeling into what direction you now want to take based on the world that you're trying to bring in. Know that it's none of my business, because that may come up this week. How do we know what to act on, what not to act on? Because I can take the time to step back and be responsible for what I'm feeling, be responsible for the emotions that are coming up to be seen and the stories that I have behind them before lashing out, before commenting, before feeding a fire I don't particularly want to feed. What is going on for you? The reason I was getting frustrated is I wasn't walking my path. Yeah, we want peace, and then we have rows in any posts that we put on. How peaceful is that? Now, it's not to say there's not a place for it all, but it's to say that if you find yourself frustrated this week, tired, run down, unable to release cycles despite having all the side effects of them, how well are you in alignment with what it is you are trying to achieve? Blurred, cloudy, almost a little bit hopeless. There feels like there's quite an underlying feeling of a lack of hope this week. Bring it back to basics. That's what I hear. Bring it back to basics. Look at the things you can have an impact on. You know, especially when there's huge occurrences going on, we can really feel that being so small, so insignificant. Recognizing everything that you do, even on the micro, especially on the micro, has an impact on the macro. We talk about it. We talk about being the ripple and then forget in our actions. And this week, yeah, that's going to be brought to light. It can be really hard to say, actually, I'm aware of what's going on, but I want to see further into this. I want to really feel what's occurring for me. It can be really quite difficult, scary, spooky, trippy, yeah, to even acknowledge that type of energy. But actually, once we do that, once that interest is sparked, you know, who knows what that will bring. Beginners alike, because we're all in this together. You know, we might feel like we're ahead of them or more woke, or what. Actually, we're all in this together, just at different varying densities. Okay, and that's how grateful then we can be of each other, because there's nothing like being knocked off your pedestal every now and then. It's really good for the ego. It's really good for the soul. It's really good to go, oh my God. Oh, yeah, I was being a right twat. Thank you so much. To recognise that what's good for one may not be good for the other, because we're all here to do different things. Okay. And how someone deals with something may not be right for you, and that's okay. That's actually quite necessary. Patriarchy, mother knows best, father knows best, and right at the bottom of the pack, I'm not surprised to see the Five of Pentacles. So this week we can really be like, what do I do, and really try and seek that from outside of us. And that's not an option this week. It doesn't matter if it's from tarot cards, the news, from friends, family, whatever. The more we seek help outside of us, the more confused we're going to be, because this week is very much about realizing that the hope comes from within you, that the answers come from within you, even those ones we don't want to look at, even those reactions that have, rather than directing them onto someone else, blaming someone else, bring it back home. I see like a push, a gentle nudge forward from the universe. And yeah, I'm really starting to feel that this week, but I'm also feeling that the nudge, the push, the the bearing down is going to come from us, that only we can do this. And really not only recognizing that, but celebrating that. celebrating that and the uncertainty and the confusion that comes with that, recognizing that actually it's all, our healing is us, our abundance is linked to us, our views are linked to us, our place here on the earth is linked to us. And yeah, just pausing with that, taking some time. I love here that you have the turtle or the tortoise at the bottom, whichever one you want to call it, the home on the back, always knowing that wherever we are in each moment, we are home. Feels quite important this week as we go into a mist full of emotions that have been there since the new moon on the Monday. Now, fun, how can we have fun in these kind of times? Well, actually in these times it's more essential than ever to lighten things up where we can, because there is enough being carried as it is. And this week we're really being asked to look at what it is we are choosing to carry forward into the full moon. Also with Samhain, with Halloween, with the time of our ancestors, we're being asked to look at what we've been carrying that isn't ours this week as well. Also bring an essence of feeling alone, of doing things on our own, and that can bring forth almost a defensiveness if we don't keep it in balance. You know, there can be times where we've had to do things on our own, where we can't rely on others, and where we may stand out a bit like a sore thumb and feel like we don't belong, and that can be a great way to push us forward, but it can also mean we can shut things off as well. I need to take that on board myself. So recognizing on the Wednesday some of the things that we see for others may also be for us, and in that we acknowledge that we're not alone, that we're all going through this together. And to be defensive against one is to be defensive against that is being brought up within us too. Well, are we connected to our emotions? The hidden words of our emotions on the Thursday are going to be key. How well can we actually listen to what is occurring? About that, do we take it to heart? Do we see it as rejection? Are we fearful of that, or can we acknowledge it for what it is, the calling out of what needs to be called out for ourselves? On the Friday, yeah, that's going to be key. If we want to move forward onto the Saturday where we have the Three of Wands, on the Friday it's really about that double-edged sword. Okay, so this has happened, that's how you've reacted, this is how I've reacted, what is actually going on here? Let's call it for what it is. It's too much if you're not aligned with what it is you're trying to achieve. You know, we can lose hope if we've fallen out of alignment with hope. We can lose sight of the love that we have for the world if we've fallen out of alignment with love. So really looking at where you're at this week and calling yourself out for it, rather than victory being the change, using our own success to move things forward, using our own peace to create peace, our own love to create love, our own magic to create magic, our own ability to transform to create transformation. The Mother, Maiden, Crone, but obviously the masculine has 3 stages as well. And we may find this week that we go through them all with our actions, but ultimately being embodied in them, being aware of them, being conscious of them, grounded in them is going to be key. It's not to say that we sit all week without being affected by anything, but recognizing we're being affected by it, recognizing the impact, looking at our actions as a result of that, and the overall cycle that continues to occur as a result. Someone is reacting, there's an emotion there. If there's an emotion there, there's some wisdom there, there's potential there. There's something stirring there. There's an opportunity of change there. You know, there's a cycle there that's happening. And rather than stop the cycle, let the cycle play out. Or not. That's the potential. But obviously, if we get confused as to what's going on and not knowing how to move forward, maybe what we're doing needs changing. Acknowledging what action is. It's not a flippant thing that we chuck to the wayside, that we do without consciousness. The card that we have from the earth is the Three of Swords. There is heartbreak going on. We know this. There's heartbreak going on collectively and individually with us all. Can we hold space for that? Can we recognise that every comment, every post, every view, it might not be what we want to hear, but it's that person's experience of the heartbreak that's occurring as well. And really feeling into the potential of the Sacred Heart here. You know, pain can either divide us or it can heal and connect us. New narrative trying to come forth in my own purpose here. May it be so for you all. May you have an incredible week. with ease and with grace. Take care.